Hello everyone, this is AK. In this video, I'm going to perform a real-time streaming data ingestion process using Azure Event Hubs, Azure Stream Analytics, and Azure Synapse Analytics. And if you don't know about these services, I will explain shortly. Azure Event Hubs is like a big data ingestion service in Azure. With the help of Event Hubs, you can ingest millions of streaming data per second. And second one we are going to use here is Azure Stream Analytics. Azure Stream Analytics helps you to process the streaming data that you have ingested from the Event Hubs. And finally, we need Azure Synapse Analytics to further process the data in a structured format. So these are the major services that we are going to use. And one more thing is, this is the concept of real-time production scenario. In this scenario, I'm going to feed the real-time weather data for a particular location into Azure applications. And if you are especially working in real-time project, then this will be the exact method of ingesting the real-time data into any storage account. And I referred many resources to make this video. I will attach all the links in the descriptions. If you have anything to refer, you can make sure to check those links for detailed understanding. So before we enter into this project, let's see how this concept will look like. So see the design here. You see the lot of data flows here, right? I'm actually going to follow this design structure for this video. So look at the scenario we have. In the ingest space, we have the Python application that is generating the real-time data continuously. As a data engineer for handling those real-time data, we have to use Event Hubs in this scenario to get those data. So once we get those data, we have to process those data via Stream Analytics. Once the data is processed, we can move the data into data lake storage account. And for further data processing, I use the Azure Synapse Analytics data warehouse to convert the data into a structured form. So this is the concept we are going to learn in this video. So this is the ideal use case we are going to develop in this video. So stick with me till the end of this video. Otherwise you won't understand the concept. So let's start this video. The first process is we need the real-time streaming data source. For creating a data producer, I'm going to create a Python program which will generate the weather data every single minute. I already created a weather streaming data script. Actually, it is a weather data scraping script. It will directly scrap the weather data from Google page. I always suggest you to rely with stable APIs for real-time data generation. It is not advisable to scrap the data from any website because it will work sometime and it won't work many times as of my experience. Here I just going to demonstrate how the streaming data ingestion works. For that, I just use this code for demonstration. I'm planning to do another data engineering video with more content of batch data ingestion and data processing. At the time, I will explain you guys with more real-time end-to-end use cases. And if you want the explanation of this scrapping script, I found this script in the Geeks for Geeks. I will attach the link in the description. So if you want to understand this script, you can go and check the link. Apart from that, I modified this script a little bit. My changes will make this script as a real-time streaming data one. I will explain what changes I did. First, I imported necessary libraries for this script. And see here, I imported some libraries which are from Azure SDK. For integrating this script with Azure Event Hub, you must need some Azure libraries to do that. I imported two libraries that are Azure Event Hub Producer Client and Event Data. This script will act as an Event Data Producer, and that's why I used Event Data Producer Client from the Azure libraries. And then the event data is like a data content holder. It will act as a container for holding the data events that has been generated by this script. After that, I created a function here. Under this function, I wrote my entire data scraping script. As of now, this program will collect the data from Google page and we need to store the data in some format, right? For storing the data, you need some data structure to store and organize the data. I'm just using data frame data structure to store my data into a neat column format. So once it is done, we have to convert the data objects into a JSON format. Why? Because Azure Event Hubs has some data constraints. You must send the specific data objects to the Event Hubs. So the supported data objects are XML, JSON, Avro format. So your data object should be in one of these above formats. Otherwise, it won't accept your data files. So here I converted my data frames into a dictionary data structure. So once I made the event data batch, I will send my dictionary data structure as a JSON format to the event batch. Okay. Next, we need to create an event producer client script. So look at the code here. You can find the code link on Microsoft documentation. Basically, in this block of code, we are just creating a connection between our code and the Event Hubs. So you can find the data batches here. So this is what I talked before. While sending your real-time data into Event Hubs, it should be in JSON format or other accepted format that I mentioned above. And one more thing is this batch will operate like a loop once you start the execution. After you put your connection credentials in this script, this data will automatically send to the Azure Event Hubs. So next we have to create the respective resources for data ingestion process. Look at the resource group. I created here 4 Azure resources: Azure Event Hubs, Stream Analytics, Data Lake, and Azure Synapse Analytics. First, we need to configure and integrate our Python program with Azure Event Hubs. So click the Azure Event Hub service here and create a new Event Hub. So see here, we have to fill some details, give a unique name to the event hubs, and rest of the details are pretty default. So you don't need to make any changes in this part. The partition count is like it will split your data stream into two different partitions. So we can't change this partition count. Azure Event Hub set the partition count as 2 by default, and if you want to increase the partition count, you can do it, but minimum you need 2 partition to operate the event hubs. And next we have the message retention period. Number 1 indicates 1 day of event message retention. So you can retain your data within 1 day time period. I created a basic tier for Azure Event Hubs because I'm not going to process large amount of data here. So for tutorial purpose, I just made this video. So it is not a large scale problem. Okay. In case of real world project, the data engineers will more concerned about the data backups. At the time, the message retention will help them to retain the data in a certain period. Okay. So next one is the capture. Capture in Azure Event Hubs will enable the blob storage to data lakes to store your data, but it will enable only if you are using the standard price tier. For basic price tier, it won't be enabled. So that's all about the Event Hubs parameter. Let's create our Event Hub. So once you create the Event Hub, select the Event Hub and go to the shared access policies. So in this area, you should determine the characteristics of Event Hubs. Suppose if you're sending the data, you can select the send, or you are going to listen the application, you can select the listen. For our case, we will select the manage option. We need the send and listen feature for this case. So once you created it, you will find the connection keys in the side menu. So you can paste those keys in the code. By doing that, it will enable the connection between your event hubs and the code. Next, you need to create a stream analytics job for processing your data. So to be honest, we are not going to process anything on stream analytics. I'm going to write a query on stream analytics that will ingest the data from event hubs to data lake storage. So after the data has been stored in the data lake, we will do the data transformation on Synapse analytics. So why we are using the stream analytics mean it will help us to ingest the data into the data lake in a real-time process. I already created a stream analytics service in my resource group. So let's click that one to open the service. So you are seeing the stream analytics service now, and for adding the input to the stream analytics, you need to click the add stream input on top, and you are allowed to select 3 different types of supported input services to the stream analytics. But here in our case, we are going to select the event hubs. So once you select it, you can see the informations in the sidebar. You need to give the required information for establishing the connection in between the event hubs and stream analytics job. So next you need to create a stream output. In our case, we are ingesting the real-time weather data on data lake. I already created a data lake account. All you need is to connect the data lake into stream analytics as an output destination. So once it is done, go to the query section and you will find the auto generated query. The meaning of the query is pretty simple. It will take the data from the event hubs and it will put on data lake. So it will happen on real-time process. It means when the new data comes here, it will ingest the new data into our data lake. So this is the process will going to happen here. For starting this stream analytics job, you need to go to the overview menu and then select the start to initiate the stream analytics job. When the job gets initiated, you will see the data that are coming from the event hubs. So now look at the terminal. We have the streaming data that are coming from the event hubs and it is storing in data lake as a two partitions. Because I told you there is a partition constraint present in the event hubs. So every data you send through the event hubs will be stored in some divided partition like this. Okay. After the data being stored in data lake, we have to do some changes on the data. Because we are getting here the JSON data, most of the time if you are working in real-time data projects, you mostly will face the JSON data. In our case, we have the same scenario, but I'm going to write the SQL queries to convert the JSON data into a CSV files. So it will be easy for the data analyst or data scientist to work on. For making the data more structured format, I'm going to use Azure Synapse Analytics to write the TSQL queries on serverless SQL pool. I told you in the last video, Azure Synapse Analytics is one of the vital part in data engineering operations, especially in Azure. Also, it has more weightage on DP23 exam. In Azure Synapse, we have three different types of resource pools are available for data computation. I'm using one of the resource pool called serverless SQL pool. I attached the serverless pool documentation in the description. So if you want to know much better about this, then go and check the documentation. Okay. So here I have my data lake connected as a primary storage. So this is the same data set we are going to store our stream data that comes from the event hubs and stream analytics. So the data comes from the event hubs or JSON format. In this part, we are going to make this data a sort of a structured format for better analytics. So it will be easy for the visualization. Okay. So here in Azure Synapse, I'm going to create this JSON records as external tables. First, for creating the external tables, you need to create a external file formats and external data sources. I created those two files. In the file format file, I mentioned the format which I want to convert, and then in the external data sources, I mentioned where my data is coming from. And now you have to create a separate schema for our data. Generally, if you're working in data engineering project, data engineers usually develop a different schemas for data. For example, the raw data which are coming from the source will be available in brown schema, and the structured data will be present in the silver schema, and the business modified data will be present in the gold schema. The gold schema is our final output, and that will be moved to the Power BI or data science works for further analytics. So this is the working scenario of most of the data engineering projects. In our case, we have the JSON file which is available in the bronze layer and the external tables which are available in the silver schema. I don't create a gold schema here. The gold schema is somewhat meaningful if you're writing the business objective queries, and I don't have any business objectives here right now. I will upload another real use case project in the data engineering soon. At the time, we will explore the gold schema more clearly. So we are having two schema here, the bronze and silver. While writing the queries, I have faced some error. So we are having the JSON data right. So what I tried is, I tried to create an external table directly from the JSON data, but I received some error while running those queries, and I found out the first we have to create a view, and then we will able to create external tables. So I wrote the queries for creating a views in the brown schema. In the views, I'm converting the JSON data into a CSV data, I'm doing it for two JSON files because our data is partitioned into two different files. So once it is done, I'm creating two different external tables on Silver schema, and finally you can able to see the data that are present in the data lake in a CSV format. And that is our external tables that are came from the Synapse analytics. In this video, we are just using simple data without any business objective to process, but I'm preparing a project which has more complex queries, and I used above resources from Azure to build those projects. So this video makes you to cover the baseline understanding of streaming data ingestion. I hope you understand the concepts as well. Thanks for watching and thank you. See you on another video.